Well, we're back, and this is going to be a fun one. This is a fun one. You know, it's.
Is it?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. When I sit through a bad movie, I'm not having a good time there, but I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be so much fun to write about. Going to be so much fun to talk about it because it's just so bad. What are we talking about, Pam Powell?
The 355, also known as the bypass in Chicago, which is exactly what you should do.
Oh, that's good. That's
Thank
good.
you.
I'd say this has nothing to do with construction, but that's good.
Bypass
Yes.
this movie.
Oh, yeah, good point. Good point. You know, and this one has so much potential.
Wow, what a cast.
What a cast. Yeah, read the cast for us. So tell us the cast.
We've got Jessica Chastain, Lupita Nyong'o, Diane Kruger, Penelope Cruz, and someone that I didn't know about, Bing Bing Fang.
She is quite big in the Far East, yes. And they all play spies of sorts.
Well, actually, we've got 4 spies and a therapist, which
right.
is a typical combination, and just so doesn't work.
I want you to remember that therapist thing. I want to come back to that in
Okay.
a second. This is directed by Simon Kinberg. He directed the last X-Men film, Phoenix, and it was awful. Also starred Jessica Chastain. He also produced the X-Men films. This is his second film as a director, and you can tell that this guy has studied action movies.
He studied explosives.
Yeah, I mean, because this looks like just about every other action movie you've ever seen before, and I think has the same story.
It does.
As every other action movie you've ever seen before.
And just so doesn't work.
I want you to remember that therapist thing. I want to come back to that in
Okay.
a second. This is directed by Simon Kinberg. He directed the last X-Men film, Phoenix, and it was awful. Also starred Jessica Chastain. He also produced the X-Men films. This is his second film as a director, and you can tell that this guy has studied action movies.
He studied explosives.
Yeah, I mean, because this looks like just about every other action movie you've ever seen before, and I think has the same story.
It does.
As every other action movie you've ever seen before. There's a thing that causes a lot of destruction, and they got to get the thing before the bad guys get the thing.
Right, and then there's double crossings and not trusting others, and then they work against each other, and then they realize that they need to work together.
So what does the thing do again? Remind me.
It takes control over other things. Like they could tell an aircraft to crash.
Oh wait, yeah, it doesn't take over like your computer system?
Yeah, it's a techie thing.
So it could your airplane, my printer.
Oh my God.
Yeah, all that stuff
Right?
it could take control
Wouldn't that be
of that.
horrible? Or imagine if you Googled something and something else came up and you went with that. Imagine
man.
believing what you read on
Well,
Google.
okay, so then there's the reason why they're after this thing, because it's very powerful and could do all sorts of damage. Where do we even start with
Oh my
this thing?
gosh. Okay, where we go wrong with this is, okay, we already mentioned the script was awful and it's
Yeah, it's
just
nothing
you know,
original.
there's nothing original and it's lots and lots of fight scenes and explosions. And what the writer, and he's a co-writer, Simon Kinberg, and director did is just took 5 characters, and generally these are guys' roles.
Sure.
And I think they were written as guys' roles, and then they said, oh, maybe we should have a lot of different types of women, and we'll throw them into this role.
Now, I want to stop here for a second,
Yes.
just so this doesn't seem like it's all a man's fault. A co-writer is a woman named Teresa Rebick, who I'm not sure I know about. And it's interesting you say that it was probably, because then you have 2 guys who take on the requisite girl roles, like
Right.
in a James Bond film.
Right.
You know, I wouldn't call them eye candy, but they certainly are.
Oh, they were eye candy.
Okay, Olivia.
That made me hang in there
Okay,
for a while.
Olivier Martinez plays a Colombian spy who, he's not around long enough.
No, he's not.
And then Sebastian Stan, the Winter Soldier from the Marvel films, he's there too. So yeah, you're right. Everything's inverted
Right.
as far as gender roles are concerned.
And the thing is, they didn't really change anything about those roles, even though they flipped the genders. And these women, I mean, there's one scene, Chuck. Do you remember when they're all sitting around, they're celebrating, they're at a bar and they're drinking some beers, and they look like a bunch of guys.
It's a pissing
You know,
contest.
it's crazy,
Yeah.
and women don't interact like that.
They don't?
And we don't sit at a bar like this
You don't?
either.
You know, the thing is about this movie was it had potential. I kept thinking, had they just taken a lighthearted type approach to this and just almost a parody.
Right.
I mean, had they taken a tone where the women are almost looking at the screen saying, can you believe this shit?
Yeah.
You know, that I think would have been a lot of fun, because then they would completely undercut this whole male-driven action film that we get way too much of.
Right, right.
And I wish that Kinberg had had the guts to say, okay, we're going to go this route.
Right, right. Again, if you scriptwriters out there would like to throw your scripts our way, we will make them better, so we don't pan your movie the way that we're panning this one.
And another missed opportunity, as you mentioned, that the Penelope Cruz character is a therapist. Had she been, applying therapy techniques to all of these women as they were going through it, I mean, that would have
It
been
would've been
funny.
hilarious.
Damn, we could make a better movie than that.
Right, and the sadly, it wasn't so bad that it was laughable.
No.
I mean, it didn't make that mark. And
Right.
if they would have done that, that would have been okay too, because some movies are so bad they're funny to watch.
Right, it's entertaining.
There was one really funny, and there are specific scenes here where Jessica Chastain, who I never bought for 1 minute.
Does anyone look more awkward with a gun?
Okay, so she's fighting people, and I swear there's this one punch that she throws, and there is a look on her face for all of you Curb Your Enthusiasm fans out there. Susie, she gives you the Susie look.
Yeah, I caught that.
Did you catch
I
that?
caught it, yeah. After
Okay,
you
good.
pointed it out to me, I'm like, oh yeah, she's right. It's right there.
So yes, missed the mark totally. Bypassed this movie, the 355.
So next time we get together, hopefully, we'll have something better to talk about. But yeah, if nothing else, we suffered through this one, so you don't have to.
You're welcome.